Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're tired of manually watering your garden or lawn and want to save time and water, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about the top 4 best hose timers on the market. These handy devices make it easy to keep your plants hydrated without any hassle. But before we get started, make sure to check the link in the description below if you want to know about the price and other information. Let's dive in. Number 1. RainPoint EDV 105 1-Zone Mini Digital Sprinkler Timer. One of the biggest complaints from those with water spigots in hard-to-reach spots is that most standard hose timers are too large to connect. There's always the option of attaching a short leader hose to the spigot, then attaching a timer between the leader hose and another garden hose. However, if you want a compact timer to use in restricted areas, the RainPoint Mini Timer is a great option. The RainPoint Mini uses 2 AA batteries not included and has the same features as most larger timers. As a mini unit, it does only have one hose outlet, but for many watering situations, that's enough. You can choose a watering duration between 1 minute and 3 hours 59 minutes. You can also adjust watering frequency to as often as once per hour or as little as once every 7 days. We found the words on the RainPoint Mini's dial on the small side. So rather than attach the timer to a spigot where we might struggle to read the dial, we opted to connect the unit between 2 hoses. This process was quite simple thanks to the RainPoint Mini's easy attach fitting. Unfortunately, this model's plus and minus buttons were also small. It was easier to simply memorize which was which rather than trying to read them. Even though this tiny timer has a small dial and buttons, its LCD screen's digital numbers are large and easy to see, even in bright sunlight. To achieve the compact size, RainPoint does compromise on some features, such as separate buttons for manual override and rain delay up to 72 hours. This small hose timer requires you to use the plus and minus buttons and set the dial to on to activate those features, whereas other timers have dedicated buttons for those actions. Number 2. Gardena 31169 Manual Mechanical Water Timer. Sometimes less is more. We didn't have to worry about batteries running down with the Gardena mechanical hose timer because this model is spring-loaded, no batteries are required. Nothing could be simpler than turning the rotary dial to set the watering duration between 5 and 120 minutes 2 hours. As soon as we set the time, we heard a faint ticking sound from the timer similar to a kitchen timer that works on a spring-loaded system. The timer is also accurate. We set it to 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes of watering, it shut the water off. We could also leave the timer on the spigot, but opt for manual operation by turning the dial to water-only mode. This allowed us to turn the water on and off as we pleased without using the timer function. The Gardena timer doesn't come with any bells and whistles, and it doesn't offer pre-programming. Every time we wanted to use the timer, we had to set the dial manually, but it shuts the water off, and that's its saving grace. Those with busy lifestyles who tend to turn on sprinklers but forget to turn them off don't have to worry about flooding the yard and running up the water bill. When you set the Gardena timer, it's okay to forget. Number 3. Orbit 620561 Outlet Single Dial Hose Faucet Timer. After popping in 2 Ah batteries not included, we connected the Orbit timer to our outdoor spigot, attached a garden hose, and started testing. We immediately noticed how large and clearly marked the dial functions were. It was very easy to read them. Using the dial, we could set the hose timer to water for as little as 1 minute to as long as 240 minutes 4 hours, and we were able to change the watering frequency anywhere from once every 6 hours to once every 7 days. Programming was simple. The Orbit timer features a 6-function dial and plus and minus buttons for setting the clock and selecting how long and when to water. The Orbit timer also includes a rain delay function and a manual override. Overall, this hose timer is an excellent performer, but we didn't love its digital screen. While the dial is large, the screen is on the small side, and it was challenging to see the readout in bright sunlight. Plus, it only has one water outlet, which may not be enough for some yards and gardens. We feel it's best suited to small gardens or perhaps a drip irrigation system that runs off a single garden hose. Number 4. Gilmour 8040141001 Electronic Water Timer. With dual hose connections, the Gilmour electronic hose timer allowed us to control 2 separate watering zones automatically. It runs off 2 Ah batteries not included and comes with an easy attached spigot connector. We ran one hose to a traveling sprinkler and another to a drip system in a perennial border. Programming each zone was easy. The Gilmour timer features L left and R right buttons for selecting each zone. We used the dial and the plus and minus buttons to set watering duration, frequency, and a specific start time for each zone. We could choose watering durations between 1 and 360 minutes and a watering frequency of every 6 hours, 12 hours, or up to 7 days. This hose timer comes with a manual override for watering anytime and a rain delay function that disables the timer for up to 72 hours. However, the rain delay function could be a little more user-friendly. To engage it, you must first select the Run feature on the dial and then press the plus button. It's not intuitive, and we had to read the manual's fine print to figure it out. Once learned, however, it's unlikely something you'll forget. The digital screen is on the small side, but is still easy to see and features a battery charge indicator, which we appreciated. And there you have it, the top 4 best hose timers to make your gardening life easier. Be sure to check the links in the description below for the latest prices and availability. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Happy watering, and we'll see you in the next video.